Definitely there's some unchecked biases with our guesters today because they don't have bigger bodies, so they haven't had to do the work. The media that they see fits them.
When you look in the mirror, what do you like the most?
I actually don't like looking in the mirror.
You should look more. You're beautiful. So,
thank you.
Embrace that.
Do you think you're attractive?
Not really. I mean, I think I exist, and I think the things that I say and do are more interesting than the way I look.
Do you think you're attractive?
I don't know. Something I've tried to unlearn a whole lot in my life is that my worth is based on my appearance.
Maybe like a 7.
A 7.
I would give you a 6.5.
I identify as a woman, but I also identify as genderqueer. And I found it really, really interesting today at how people were relating. The second guy was he was really nice, but I think I stumped him a little bit.
How would you describe yourself?
Genderqueer goblin.
I don't really know what that means in terms of character qualities.
I think it's interesting how other people sometimes will perceive me one way or another, just depending on how I introduce myself.
Do you think you're attractive?
Hell yeah.
Do you think you're attractive?
I do, yes.
Do you think you're attractive?
I would rate you 6.5.
A 6.5 or so?
6.5.
I mean, right now, yeah. I feel like I'm a solid 7.
Has any of this changed your view on yourself?
Not really.
I was rated pretty decently, actually. I was probably middle of the road, 7s and 8s.
Want to turn around? You can if you want. I don't know what the vibe is called, but it's your vibe, there's nothing wrong with it.
Everybody has their own idea of what they find attractive, but I feel like putting a plus-size body on top of that is a little harder because it's either you like it or you don't.
I would rate you a 7.5 out of 10.
I would give you an 8.5.
I'm giving you a 7.5.
Definitely there's some unchecked biases with our guesters today because they don't have bigger bodies, so they haven't had to do the work. The media that they see fits them.
Who's the most attractive person in line?
The most attractive person in the line today was Monty. I just love her attitude and you can tell that she's confident in herself and she likes who she is, and I dig that.
A couple people put you as the most attractive person today.
That's awesome.
How's that make you feel?
I feel really good. That's surprising. Thank you. I don't know. I guess I'm just really down on myself because I am, I got a belly on me and stuff. So I just assume that I'm just gonna get lower points and stuff, regardless. Just because I've had people tell me oh, you're pretty for a fat girl. That's always just kind of echoed in my head of just pretty, but not pretty.
For so long, it was people who had the perfect bodies were hired to do magazines, movies, things like that. And then once media became in your own hands and people could start posting their own bodies all over, and it's when you find out that the world is bigger than that.
Did this change any ideas that you have about yourself?
It gave me better insight on what I should work on.
I would give you a 7. I think your score would be way more up if you were a little more confident. If you came out here I don't care, this is me, I'm fly.
Right.
Because you are fly.
For example, confidence is one of the main things that people do find attractive. That's something that I really do lack in a sense.
Bring the confidence, girl.
Okay.
Look in the mirror, see yourself and be like, I'm bad.
Okay. When I was talking to Raymond, I think that was a good reminder for me to probably be kinder to myself, and it's not about whether I'm attractive or not as a binary, but perhaps to see myself as somebody confident and to love myself first, irrelevant of what other people think of me.
I would rank you a 10 out of 10.
Oh my gosh!
Thank you so much.
It's incredibly validating, and especially for me, I've had such a long journey with self-love and accepting myself for who I am and loving my body for the things that it is and even the things that it isn't.
Are you attracted to this person?
Yeah, she's beautiful.
Matthew, are you attracted to this person?
Yeah.
And those straight boys real like you.
They really did. I think it's the lashes. I think if I didn't have lashes, I would look a lot more gay. I think people would code me as queer a lot faster.
What are you going to take from this experience?
Growing up, I was one of the few people of color in my circle, and I remember thinking like nobody could think of me as attractive because I'm not what people want. So I sort of took myself out of that race fairly early on in my life and really focused on these other things. Like if I can't be attractive, maybe I can be intelligent, maybe I can be interesting, maybe I can be somebody who makes people feel included and valued. And I think this was kind of a reminder that you can be all of those things, I can be all of those things, and also be attractive.